Joining me right now is House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, Republican congressman from Louisiana. He sits on the Energy and Commerce Committee. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks very much for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Maria. Great to be with you.
We have a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. You are 2 days out. How are you feeling? Will the Republicans be able to hold on to the majority in the House?
I'm feeling really good. I mean, we know there's a lot at stake. We know there's a lot of close races, but I think we're going to hold the House. I feel the enthusiasm. Every swing district I go into, you can see it. We're getting large crowds. A lot of feelings to what we saw 2 years ago at this point where, you know, the Democrats were measuring the drapes. They were ready to win. And then something funny happened up on the way. A lot of people showed up that they weren't counting on. And I think a lot of that's going to happen again in 60 hours when the polls close. So we've got to keep the momentum. We've got to finish strong. And everybody's got to get out to vote. But I like where we are right now, knowing the kind of momentum we have going into this tough race.
And, of course, it has been widely expected that, in fact, you will lose the majority. Democrats are out in force saying we're going to win. Tell me what Plan B is if you do lose the majority, Congressman. What realistically can get done with your Democratic colleagues in charge?
Well, you know, I don't think we're going to lose the majority, but I think when you listen to Nancy Pelosi, you ought to take her at her word. She says she wants to take away your tax cuts. These tax cuts that have been working so good at getting the economy going again and putting more money in families' pockets. Look, hardworking families out there, they like what's happening with this growing economy, and they know that Nancy Pelosi wants to go the other way. When they see this caravan coming over, they hear Nancy Pelosi saying she wants open borders. They want to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of those border agents that are keeping our community safe from opioids. That's not where the country wants to go. So I think we ought to take Nancy Pelosi at her word and what she wants to do if she were to get power again. But I don't think the country's there. I think they like the success they're seeing. They're not tired of winning yet. They want to win some more. And let's hold this House. Let's grow the number of Republican seats in the Senate and keep working with President Trump to get this country going again and get this economy moving even stronger.
Do you think these are the issues that will be driving voters on Tuesday night? Economic issues, like you just noted, we had some good numbers, as well as immigration. Are these the two driving factors, or is health care equally as important?
Look, this growing economy is still the top issue. Democrats have been trying to mislead people about health care. Go read our bill. We actually protect people with pre-existing conditions in multiple different ways. The same people that lied and said if you like what you have, you can keep it. The same people that lied and said if you're going to see premiums go down under Obamacare, those same people are lying again about health care. Surprise. Right before an election. I think people see through that. They want national security. They want a strong America. They don't want to see, look, we're a great, rich nation of immigration. We're a country that lets more than 1 million people into our country every year legally. I mean, by the way, no one's even close in second place to America. Yet we are a nation of laws, and people want to see our border secure. They don't want to see thousands of people just saying, we don't care about your laws. We're coming in anyway. They're glad that President Trump is standing up saying, we're going to secure the border of this country. Let's keep growing the economy. That's where people are right now.
Well, let me ask you this, because regardless of what happens, your speaker is leaving. Paul Ryan is stepping down. Tell us where you stand in terms of who should lead the membership should you hold on to the majority. Who should be speaker?
Well, I support Kevin McCarthy, and I've said that from the beginning. And I think if you look at where our conference is, we've done a good job, including Kevin McCarthy, of staying focused on our job at hand, and that is winning the majority and helping our colleagues that are in these tough battleground races. We've got more than a dozen colleagues that are literally in these 50-50 races. There are a lot of open seats that I think we can win and hold on to and surprise a lot of people. And so let's finish strong. Let's stay focused. We're all getting around the country helping these colleagues in the tough races where there's unreal money coming. I mean, I've gone into races. I was in Lexington, Kentucky, just on Friday afternoon with Andy Barr. There's probably $15 to $20 million being spent in that one House seat. And we see it all around these swing districts. People from New York, like Michael Bloomberg, trying to buy House seats with $80, $100 million of their own money. I think people see through that, too. Let's actually get back to what's working in this economy and keep building on the success we have.
If Kevin McCarthy becomes the speaker, would you move to majority leader?
Yes, I would. And ultimately, if you look at the kind of leadership that we need in the House, We want to keep moving a good, bold, conservative agenda that's getting this country back on track.
Let me ask you, Congressman, go through some of the real important, pardon me, I'm sorry, go through some of the real important races that we need to focus on, because it could be a late night, obviously, you know, California closing late into the night, but you've got Georgia closing at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, some others real important that are so nail-biting right now. What are the most important races that we should be focused on Tuesday night to get a sense of if, in fact, you'll be able to keep the majority?
Well, starting there in Georgia, where, of course, we've got some competitive House races, and you've got a very high-profile governor's race. But look at the Karen Handel seat. Last year, that was the most expensive race in the history of Congress, Maria. More than $50 million spent on that one seat. Democrats are coming in trying to take that seat again, spending over $20 million. Karen is tough. She's running a great race. She's done a great job as a member of Congress. I think Karen holds that seat. That's going to be one to watch along the East Coast. Look at Maria Elvira Salazar. What a great dynamic leader coming out of Miami, where Democrats put Donald Shalala in that seat. They thought, hey, look, we could just put a Clintonite in there and just grab a seat. And yet you've got Maria Elvira Salazar, who she speaks Spanish, unlike Donald Shalala, in a very Hispanic district, and doing a great job running in that race. Over the West Coast, you mentioned California, a lot of competitive races there. You know, look at the Mimi Walters race. Mimi is a great member of our team. They're spending tens of millions of dollars there. And then you go to the Ed Royce seat. Ed's retiring. Young Kim, great candidate on the Republican side. And I think we can surprise a lot of people by holding that seat. So all across the board, you're seeing a lot of tough races, big high-profile races like in Florida, where the president was last night, getting record crowds. Look, you're still seeing record crowds of people going to see Donald Trump when he comes to speak as president, and literally 10,000 plus people waiting outside in these big high-packed arenas. Right.
Well, we're going to be talking with Ron DeSantis coming up in the program about Florida in that gubernatorial race. It's good to see you, Congressman. We'll be watching. Thanks very much.
A lot of enthusiasm. Let's go win Tuesday night. Thanks, Maria. Good to be with you.
Congressman Steve Scalise joining us.